You are now listening to a Residues Media production. Comic residue.
You have now reached your destination.
Talk fast.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Residues podcast. We are live today in
Live.
smoky Southern Oregon.
Ooh. Welcome to the podcast. Coming at you from a room inside of a house, getting stoned.
As usual.
Coming with some hot topics today. We
Yes,
also have
sir.
a third member.
Hello.
What's your name?
Yeah, who are you?
Who are you?
I'm Abby, guys, and I'm stoned.
Oh my God. You're Abby and you're stoned.
Oh, yes.
Nice. We come up with some topics today. I want to bring you guys some information about the cannabis industry. I want to bring you guys some information about knowledge to know, to pass on to your homies as if it was your knowledge. And that's fine with me, man. As long as you keep listening to the podcast, whatever I say is yours. So let's get on with it, man. My first question is, for those people living in a motherfucking illegal state, how far would you go to not get caught with cannabis? I'm gonna put the situation in your head right now, both of you guys. You're driving down the road and you have a joint.
Mm-hmm.
No, let's say you have an ounce of weed, okay? 1 ounce of weed. Not enough to eat. And you're being pulled over by a cop. And that ounce is a felony.
Ounce of weed,
Yeah.
not enough to eat, says who?
Well, I mean, I guess if you want to shovel down some weed.
Now, see if it's like, but that's a good question though, because if it's like an eighth, that's easy to just fucking down real quick. But an ounce is,
I can swallow an entire eighth without chewing. I think that if that was like the thing, it was like the plan, I think I could do it.
right.
Let's say a quarter. Fuck it. 7
Quarter?
grams.
I don't know, man. It's probably about. Gotta love that the mic's getting all tightened up. It's got to be more of just. I don't know. Are you throwing it out the window?
I don't know, man.
Are you
How
like?
far would you go? That's the real question. How far would you go?
Am I in Texas or am I in Kansas?
You are in the middle of Texas.
Ooh.
In every
I am eating it.
In every
Eating
direction, it's a day drive to get out.
Giving it to my dog too.
Ooh.
Probably not. No,
Eating it?
that'd be wrong.
It would be wrong, but like, let's face it, it would cross all of our minds.
Yeah.
Like, because like they would just get sick.
Right.
It's the worst thing that could happen. They've eaten worse.
They take a long nap.
They've
Yeah.
eaten worse.
But like, I don't know. Honestly, I feel like maybe I would try to like put it under the seat in a way that it would be like,
Yeah.
if I could be like, that is not mine, officer. Like, I have friends that maybe
Wasn't
smoke
mine.
and maybe it fell out of their pocket and was there. Because, like, what if you're just a person, how often do you honestly check your passenger seat?
The thing about it is that, like, I know the laws in Texas, and if you're anywhere near the marijuana, it's yours. Like,
Yeah.
straight up. If you can't tell the
If you're in the
police-
car with it, it's yours, isn't it?
Exactly. If you're within arm's reach, it's yours. Which brings me to my second question. And this is a pretty good one. Do you guys think you should be able to sell cannabis from your house? If I grow weed and I get all the proper licenses, and like it's like I don't have any THC percentages, I don't have any fancy terpene profiles. It's good, clean weed that's passed all the tests, pesticide or what have you. What do you guys think?
I think I like the idea. I like the if you just grow it yourself, you have a lot, your neighbors are interested, and like you were talking about licensing our licenses, I do think there probably needs to be something that the customer needs to sign saying, hey, I grew this in my literal backyard, so if you get sick, you
some
can't
sort of
sue me.
some sort of
like a waiver.
yeah.
That's a good point.
And then whoever you sell it to, I feel like you should also have to record their license number so that you can prove that you made that sale to someone who was over 21.
Because here's the thing. You can technically do that. You just couldn't do it with your marijuana.
Right.
You could have weed in Oregon, and you can bring them over, and you can hand it out. Everyone's got the right paperwork. But that's with weed that's already licensed out.
So it would end up being something similar to being a caretaker. There are people who do that in Colorado. They grow their own weed, and they sell it to only a select amount of people. They get a base that's enough to sell what they're growing, and that's about it to keep them up and stuff. You're not making a lot of money, but you're helping, especially if you know how to grow really well. So that's how I would see it going. I could see it happening. I could see it more like a farmer's market too. Like if you have all the
idea.
Like you have all the right paperwork, and you have, I mean, you passed all your tests, and you can show up to this market, and you have like a booth, sell what you've been growing. That would be awesome. But it's really takes a lot of trust in your community for that too.
Truly.
So then at that point, you got to be helping your neighbors too. Like if the neighbor's like, hey, can you help me with this? You can't be like, no, I'm only focused on my stuff. Help give out tips, help someone learn how to grow properly so they're not poisoning somebody else either.
And that works in a place like Oregon, but you couldn't do that in LA. You couldn't do that in Santa Clarita. You couldn't do that in
Too much ego.
Portland. You know what I mean? You couldn't trust people that much. It's
No way.
you don't know your fellow man in a packed city like that.
It would have to be like neighborhood strictly, basically.
Imagine like a community, like specifically known. Like we have a community, a cannabis grow. If you want to be part of it, you can have as much weed as you want, but it's gonna be like right in the middle of everyone, and like everyone. Imagine like. I'm sure, why isn't the communities like that? Why isn't like there's like
where's my button for money, baby? That's
money,
it.
Baby.
People see money signs and they forget all about their fellow man.
Forget the HOA. I want a community that says we're growing pot and you could be a part of it. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, we could always just start a commune.
That too.
Yeah, but that's different. A commune comes with different like culture vibes and like a different like idea behind it. A commune sounds like we're like non-reliant on the world, but no, I just want to grow some pot with my fellow man and never have to worry about getting my hands on some of that good sticky icky. That's all. That's it. Everything else, we can go to Walmart for the rest of everything. But like, I just want to be able to grow marijuana right in the middle of my fucking.
I'll
community.
play this little consumer game. Just
You know
let me
what I mean?
have my weed.
Exactly. Sorry, that's just how I feel.
I like the question. I like it a lot, and I think that it'd be challenging, and that's really where it comes down to. It could be too challenging for people to really get all of those licensing.
It's a cash crop too, man.
Yeah.
People look at that stuff and they're like, money, baby. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna steal that shit right from under your crotch. Cash crop. Anyways, yeah.
What do you think? Do you think that there would be a chance? You said there wouldn't be a chance in LA. Is that because there's so many people and you just
Can't
really can't trust
everyone,
a single
dude.
person?
I wouldn't be able to do that. Like, I think that if like there was a neighborhood here and it was small and quaint, I think that would work. But like,
Then the first thing that pops in my head is commune too, like what Abby said.
no, yeah, but the thing is that like if you say we're
Honestly, picture it though. We go somewhere in Switzerland, right?
yeah.
And we just like say like this is ours. Like this is ours. We will be self-reliant.
I guess
We will have our own farm, our own cattle, our own crop. We will be self-reliant. And the trade-off, we don't pay your taxes. We don't follow your laws. You leave us alone.
and we don't speak your language, so get the fuck off my land.
And it's literally just a weed commune.
So speaking of commune in that sense,
yeah.
if you did have animals like that to eventually eat, could you actually do the slaughtering of it? Could you slaughter your cow that you've been raising for
No, I
like
could
5
not.
years?
I think
I guess honestly, I think I would have the strength to go vegetarian before I had the strength to kill animals.
I think that I could, but I couldn't sleep in my bed or like in my house. You know what I mean? It couldn't be like, all right, waking up, good morning, Jeffrey.
No,
Like,
I
you
think
know what mean?
I think
Like,
if I helped birth a calf and I saw it grow and I
Exactly.
scooped his shit and I fed him and you know like I got milk from this cow and
No
like
bueno.
this cow especially the whole like connection with like the cow of like you get the milk from the cow and stuff like that. Like that's nutrients for you.
Isn't
too.
it also similar to like how chickens are only harvested once they stop laying eggs? Wouldn't that be similar to cows too? So you'd have to wait till they stop producing milk to actually.
And that's like 12, 15 years. Cows live for a long time.
Yeah.
I'd probably have a butcher come out and do it for me. I could still. I couldn't kill it myself, no. But if I had a butcher come out and do it and had it all, put in a wax paper and I put it in a deep freezer, I'm fine. I'm good.
I don't do it.
That's what my parents did for a while. Is like the neighborhood, like the little cul-de-sac we lived in, they would buy a cow, like one cow, and it was like an old cow, and it was a fat cow, and it was all grass fed. It just lived in a pasture for its whole life, and then when it was slaughtered, it was like divvied out. And we got a shit ton of like really, really good quality. And like they like cut it up for you too in like nice steak cuts.
I wonder like what the most humane way is to kill a cow.
It's that little
A bullet to the back of the head really
that
fast.
little machine from
Jesus.
No Country for Old Men. That little
Damn it.
air powered like rod that just goes straight to the brain stem and out.
Jesus Christ. If you're listening at home, guys, that's the best way to kill a cow, I guess. All right. Shit. So that actually brings me to my next topic, man.
Before going to that,
What's
what's the most that you're doing to get away with cannabis?
Ooh,
in
this is the
Texas?
most
because
Ooh, I'm doing everything, anything, always to get away with cannabis. The question is, because the real question is like, what's the most that you would do? I would do anything because I've been to jail for cannabis before. It's not fun. They treat you like a criminal, man.
sitting next to a big ass dude named Tiny.
Ooh, big ass dude named Tiny. He smiles and giggles when you bend over. But that's just what
Takes us on to the next topic.
That's what
butt stuff.
That's what Tiny does. He doesn't hurt a fly, but he's the scariest fucking dude you'd ever see in your entire life. He has like shades on somehow. Like he has shades. Anyways,
What else you got for us?
what?
What
Anyway.
else you got for us?
I'd stick it up my ass, man. I would
No.
okay, yeah,
But
totally.
like if they have a dog, the dog is gonna smell it, and then you have a cop's hand in
Yep.
your ass.
That goes back a couple episodes for us too. Are you really? Is weed worth jail time, or is it worth getting field shirt stripped or whatever?
I don't remember talking about that at all.
The airplane, when you're like, what's the best way to travel?
The best way to travel with cannabis is to travel with cannabis, man.
Not travel with cannabis. Don't do it.
Put it in your back pocket. If it's in your back pocket, they can't do anything. All right. But for real, though, here's the thing. DJ. Are cats aliens, man?
Are cats
Did
aliens?
we domesticate them, or did they domesticate us?
That's actually a really deep question because
I-
cats coming from Egypt usually, and then you say aliens built the pyramids.
Yeah.
There's a lot of symbolism that we used to see these people as gods if they were the aliens that people say. But we also did that with cats too. Maybe the aliens are the cats. Holy shit! I would say maybe because my cat be staring at me for hours. And I looked it up, and it's like, that's because they love you. I'm like,
They're
nah.
too smart.
Read your mind.
They're too smart. Like they're hella dumb, but like they're too smart sometimes.
Sometimes.
Like me.
And going back to the whole question where like, did they domesticate us? Like, the cats were so crazily revered
'Cause let's
in in Egyptian culture and stuff like that. And it's kind of cool to look at humanity and go like, when did we stop looking at it as an animal and as a pet, as something that was treated with care and affection and compassion.
And that's the thing, man.
That's crazy.
Let's-
That blew my mind.
Like,
a little
I'm
bit.
gonna keep you safe and warm from the elements outside as I would my own child.
We have bred dogs to a specificity of our own that we desire. We now have fucking
Shapoodles,
we have shapoodles. We
Poor breeds that can't
have
breathe.
Kadorgis.
Kadorgis,
We have Mahoyas. We have
Chugs.
Labra Ostrich,
Chugs, Jaunties,
Doberman,
Pagoogles. We got
Bagoo.
We got Padonkadonks. We got Padangs. We got Shimshans. We got a couple of tweezers. But here's the thing, man. We haven't really bred cats as much as we have built, like, idols to them. We have cat trees in our home. We have fucking cat beds. We let our cat leave 90% of the time and come back when they want to, when they're outdoor cats. We don't do that with dogs. You see a stray dog, he's most likely getting picked up. You see a stray cat,
Can't catch him.
you can't catch him, or they just assume he's most likely going back to his owner sooner or later.
What my family always said when I saw a stray cat was like, that cat probably takes better care of itself than you could take care of it.
Honestly, man,
Eating out the dumpster.
I
do
know.
the same thing.
straight up. All right, another thing I'm trying to talk some serious shit about, like right quick. Why is it that CBD for pets is so expensive, man?
It's a good transition.
Have you thought about that?
I don't know.
If you don't know, there's a huge market for CBD, and there's an even nicher market for CBD for pets. You can go to Petco, and in order to help your dog relax or to help with joint pain, you can actually buy CBD, especially when your dog is really old or has serious health conditions.
And I'm so sorry before you continue. I do feel the need to specify that, like, for example, like here, the CBD treats that we see, it on the bag it says hemp seed oil. So not like hemp oil, but like hemp seed oil. So I don't know if that's different.
I mean, it's hemp seed oil. It's not very different. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. Hemp seed. So they
It seems like something that you wouldn't give to a human.
they harvest the oil from hemp seed. So it's just
But
a
so
very
it's like-
low,
it's like-
shitty form of hemp oil.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And usually they say not intended for human consumption either. So it's like, what do they put into it that helps it?
The thing about like pet tinctures for like your dogs and animals is that they make them differently. They make them with simpler ingredients that you wouldn't usually eat as a human being. For instance, instead of using vanilla dye, they'll actually use vanilla. Instead of using like corn oil, they'll use corn because a pet's stomach cannot break down complex ingredients that humans usually break down, such as high sodium content or
I'll say this right now: my
preservatives.
dogs can't break down corn either. That's
It's an example, DJ. It's an example.
bad day for that corn.
Bad day for that corn. I just mean like animals need simpler things, and that's why there's a whole market for pet tinctures.
But why does it cost more?
Because it's a smaller market, man, and it's supply and demand. And if you want this specific thing for your pet, I'm gonna make you buy it for this price because I'm the only one making it. But
Should you feed your dog RSO?
that's the thing, man. You can go to a dispensary and buy marijuana for a human or tinctures of CBD for a human, and they're perfectly safe for pets.
You got to be careful for
So-
what you say though to other people, because people who don't understand that will just report you, and then boom, you lose your dog because you're trying to help them feel better.
Oh, of course.
So-
No, you have to keep it on the down low. But I think the reason it's so expensive, like when you go into like Petco and like things like that, is, you know, I think they're just taking advantage of the fact that people aren't going to go when they see dispensary. They think weed. I'm just going there to get high. I'm going there to get stoned. Or like people who maybe don't regularly go to dispensaries, maybe they're not thinking of like the medicinal side of it too. So they probably just jack up their prices because the only other place maybe you can get it is a dispensary. But they're like they have done like studies with like CBD and like dogs and stuff like that, and there is actually a recommended amount for dogs. It is 1 to 2 milligrams for every 10 pounds.
You heard it here, folks.
And that's a dog. I'm not actually sure what it is for a cat.
I think I have one last topic.
It's 2 to
that
4
Huh.
for every 10 pounds.
Okay.
I have, if you guys, I'm not going to keep talking about anything else, but I have one last topic.
Okay.
Let me
Shoot.
bring it up. You guys ever heard of this thing called the Mandela effect?
Yes.
Where things,
Or you just forget.
as you remember them, are different than they actually were. You don't.
I've dove into this before, and to be honest, it's just forgetfulness.
Is
There
it?
could be an aspect of there's a different. We slipped into a different dimension, and that was that.
Or rebranding.
But it's probably just, I think, because the Berenstain Bears one is the Mandela effect that a lot of people see.
I have a couple.
And
I have a
go ahead.
couple. Have you heard of the Flintstones?
Yes.
Did you know that it was actually spelled Flint Stones with 2 T's.
I mean, I didn't watch it when I was a kid, so
Okay.
who knows? I
gotta-
would say that one, I didn't know. But that could also go in effect that in America, we don't pronunciate a lot of things.
Yeah.
So it could be Flint, Stones. Did I use a T or did I not just use a T?
I don't know.
Exactly. So then people growing up, they hear it a different way, especially as a kid. You hear it that way as a kid, then you're going to think about it that way as a kid all the way to an adult, and then boom, you're like, no, it was like this. And then you get people like, that's a Mandela effect. Do you believe in them? Am I ruining it for you?
No, not at all. I completely see where you're coming from. Like, remembering things is hard, bro. And like it to go even deeper, but to derail, Mandela effects are just go to show you that how if we can't even remember what happened 40 years ago, why are we like listening to textbooks about information that happened thousands of years ago? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If we can get something as small as that wrong in a time span where people were still alive to encounter it, you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. Yeah. And that's...
Do you have any other ones besides the Flintstones?
I do, but you fucking like trashed on it.
No.
It's-
Because nothing can ever be proven, either. It could really be that way. It's just my thinking. And I've gone over it before, but I think a lot of them, the Mandela effect in itself, people getting confused about if he died in prison or something like that. I can't remember, to be honest, because that wasn't in my time, but I remember that's how the name came around. Give me another one.
No.
Give me the other one.
No, I'm good. I don't want to talk about it. Let's talk about ghost experiences, baby.
You want to talk more ghost experiences?
Have you guys ever had any ghost experiences?
No.
Or
I've lied about one for years
You-
because I wanted to fit in, but
What the fuck?
yeah, I was like, yeah, I saw a ghost in that place that everybody else says they saw something. I want to be cool too, but no. My big thing on ghosts is why are they always dressed up as like
Old people.
old Victorian style? Like whenever people say like he was wearing a cape
He had one eye and a monocle.
and a stick leg. I don't know.
Have you ever experienced that?
I've experienced paranormal type stuff, but I've never seen a ghost.
Never seen a ghost.
No.
Have you experienced anything, Abby?
No, I've heard a lot of stories from friends and
Yeah.
from you, but like
Never
I
experienced.
don't think I've ever seen a ghost.
Okay.
Not that I can. I'm very high right now, so not that I can remember.
Yeah, I know, dude. I've experienced many a ghost in my time alive on this ethereal plane we call Earth. What? That's right. A little deep there. So, yeah, man, I've had experiences up the wazoo. I've seen some shit in one place. And we're driving and I was like,
Illegal, right?
very illegal. Super illegal. Don't do this. And we were smoking weed, me and my friend Via, and she was passing me the pipe. And I was driving. And she like put the pipe down out of view. And we just kind of stayed quiet because we saw somebody in the distance. But as we drove up to this car, which, mind you, had the door open, had the lights on, had a man, with his hand on the fucking, like, top of the thing. He was, like, standing there under a fucking light. Like, from a distance, that's what we saw. It was not in the shadows. It was like his car was parked directly under a fucking street light, which was on and bright and like engulfed the entire car. So as we drove up, what I saw was a man with the door open, all the lights were on in his car, and he had his hand up there. And as we drove up, the door closed. It's like it looked like a mirage was happening. Like, you know how like you see a mirage and like the air starts to thin out around it and like you see
Some
sort of-
good ass weed.
yeah. So the door's closed, the man's gone, the lights are off, the car's turned off.
As you drive past it,
As we drive past it, and we don't say anything, but I see that, and we drive past it, and I'm like, in my head, I'm thinking, creepy. That was weird. So we just continue driving, and like 2 seconds later, I'm like, did you see that? Did you see like that man that should have been there but is no longer there? And then she's just like, yes, it's exactly what I saw.
Shit.
And she explains to me what she saw. She saw a man standing there with his hand above the fucking hood of his car and like with the lights on. And as we drove up, she said it literally looked like he evaporated away. The door, it was weird because the door was open, but as we approached it, it looked like it was like, it like was always closed. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as she said she saw the exact same thing, a chill went down my spine, and I was just like, I knew that, like, that's how I knew that, like, that wasn't like anything normal. That was like trippy. Yeah.
That is trippy.
Yeah.
I would like to just say that sounds like some good ass weed, but for you both seeing the same thing, that's usually what it comes down to for me. If both of you confirmed it, then you saw something weird. But
yeah,
I've seen like what I like to call glitches in the Matrix. But to be honest, that guy just left the blind behind me in McDonald's because I was taking too long. It wasn't that another car just reappeared behind me, different color, different person. It just pulled off and I didn't see it happen. But to me, when I see it, I'm like, okay, the whole fucking place just glitched on me real quick.
I've experienced more like that, like the glitches in the Matrix, than ghost experiences. When we were living in El Paso, I was sitting at a red light, and I'm like waiting for the light to turn green. So I look up, and like I'm watching the cars go by, and there is a silver SUV with a man in the front wearing a blue button-up rolled up to his elbow, with his left hand on the steering wheel, and he was going forward. And then I looked down for like 2 seconds to like change a song on my phone, and I look back up, and a silver SUV with a man with a blue button up rolled up to his elbow with his left arm on the steering wheel going forward. I was like, trip me the fuck out.
It sounds trippy.
So you saw the same thing twice?
Yeah, or
Trippy.
I was doing dishes one time, and there was like food was getting everywhere, and it was really gross, and I'm like, and I thought to myself, I'm like, dang, I wish I had that little stopper that you put in the drain that catches all the food, but I didn't reach for it, I didn't even look for it, I had no idea where it was. And then like minutes go by, and then I look down, I'm loading the dishwasher, and I look back up, and the food catcher is in the drain, and all the food is in the food catcher.
Jesus.
And
maybe you just like pulled
really
it out
high.
and put it back in.
Literally, but like I have no memory of doing it.
Jesus. One time I was sleeping downstairs. This is one of the most recent creepy things that's happened to me. And it happened here. I was sleeping downstairs, and I was on that couch, and I was facing the other way, like away from, towards like the back. And I was laying down, and I fucking wake up, but I can't move my body.
Oh,
It
fuck
was,
that. Sleep paralysis?
Yeah, I have it a lot.
Sleep paralysis is probably one of the scariest things that I've never gotten in my life, besides one of those, like, a tarantula crawling up my foot. Like, no. Sleep paralysis, when people explain it to me,
Dude.
I get scared. Because I'm like, that's real. There's medical,
Let me tell you.
documented stuff. They're like, I just see the crazy shit. Like, this
Dude.
person standing over me, and I can't move at all. I'm like, fuck that
Let me
shit.
tell you what happened in my
Fuck
most
that.
horrific sleep paralysis moments
Oh,
then.
God.
Okay? I don't think I've ever told you this. So let's take you back in time. It's like maybe 2008. 2008, 2009. I'm like 15, 16 years old, right? We all visit my sister in Dallas. Maybe I was a little older than that. Maybe I was 18, right? And we visited her in Dallas, in Austin. She lived right in the heart of Austin, Texas. And we were visiting her in her little apartment, and I could not sleep near my dad. My dad snores like a monster, bro. Like a monster truck. So I told him I can't sleep near him. This is a small one-room apartment. I'm going to sleep in the minivan because
God.
Yes, I was being dramatic, okay? So they were like, Andrew, don't sleep in the minivan. You can
It's
sleep.
haunted.
No, they didn't say that. You can sleep in Laura's room. We'll all sleep in the living room. Because I couldn't sleep, dude. Like, I have a very sensitive sleeper, okay? I'm sorry. And he snores like a freaking chainsaw.
That's why I can never come stay here at your house.
So anyways.
Just say that because I'm bad, bro.
Anyways.
Awful.
I'm sleeping. And it's like the middle of the night, bro. I'm on my side. And I wake up. And it's sleep paralysis, okay? And I cannot move. And I can feel something or somebody behind me laying down, breathing down my back. And I'm thinking, that's weird, right? But that's okay. That happens. I have a family. Maybe someone came into the room with me because they couldn't sleep. But I couldn't move.
You were in the van, though, right?
No, I was in my sister's room.
Okay.
Because they said I could sleep there.
Right.
So I'm sleeping there, and fucking, I can feel someone breathing down my back. laying down in the same position I am, but I can't move and I cannot talk, and all I can do is see. And then as soon as I'm thinking to myself, okay, don't worry, this is life. I can't move, but it's most likely my mom. She can't, or my sister, my brother. This is my brother, right? And then I feel a hand fucking come around on my side like this. I'm not gonna be too weird about it, but pick up your arm.
Don't touch me.
Okay, well,
No,
so it's like this. Look at this. It's like sliding down like that.
Fuck that.
But I'm on my side, so I feel that. I feel the arm
No,
sliding down.
bro.
So look at me.
I need to leave. No,
Look
we're
at
done.
me.
We're done.
Look at me. So I feel it sliding down on my body, and like it rests right there, and then I'm like, that's weird. Like my family doesn't do shit like that, right? And then I feel it grab my hand. It moved to my hand, and like this. It like intertwined its fingers with my hand and held me, because I'm like sleeping like that, and I felt its hand come down and hold me. I couldn't move. I couldn't fucking like. All I could do was feel a hand on me, holding my hand, and then I'm just like freaking out. I'm like fucking horrified, and then I'm like, okay, all you can do is feel this. You can't move. You can't fucking talk. So just, it's your dad.
What do you do? Like, do you just wait it out?
No, when you have sleep paralysis,
You got to go back to sleep?
You close your eyes and you fall right back to bed.
How the I'm sorry. How the fuck do you fall back to bed?
You
when something just grabbed up on you, then interlocked your hand,
When
and
that-
then just like held you there. Fuck that.
When that
Andrew.
happens,
I'd rather just be like, kill me. Just
when
kill me.
When that happens,
Take me.
When that happens, you cry inside your brain.
Yeah.
And then you close your eyes and you fall asleep.
Fuck
and then,
that shit,
And then
bro.
I woke up and no one was in the bed with me. I woke up like out in the morning, and I was alone. Yeah. That was.
Now, do you have vivid dreams at all?
No, dude. Because the thing is that like I used to have crazy vivid dreams when I couldn't smoke weed. Like,
See, I'm the opposite way. When I smoke, I have very crazy dreams. When I
called-
don't smoke, I still have pretty crazy dreams.
It's called REM cycle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Rapid eye movement. That's what it's called. And it's when like you go into a deep form of sleep that allows you to actually have dreams. And some say that it actually taps into that part of your brain and it allows DMT to flow, like the smallest amount, because your brain produces that naturally.
Right.
And when we die, it's going to explode and we're going to see God himself. But when you're sleeping and you're in REM sleep, your brain allows just a tiny bit to slip out and fucking go into your bloodstream. And like that's, some scientists say that that's why we have vivid lucid dreams. And another thing the scientists say is that when you have done DMT a lot in your life, I've never done DMT, but when you have, that can actually cause you to have vivid dreams over again and again and again, because you have tapped into that part of your brain that allows it to flow, and it leaks every once in a while.
I can do stuff in my dreams.
I know. You told me.
And it's
that could be why, because you've done DMT a couple times, and like it's not a bad thing. It's just you've opened up this part of your brain and you've said, "Hey, I have this. It's okay to access it. It's okay. Like let it happen." And when you fall into a deep, comfortable sleep, your brain's like, "I've done this before. I've already accessed this a couple of times.
Let's give them some."
So let's give them some, because we can and we know what happens. You know what I mean? Isn't that crazy to think about?
Yeah, that is crazy to think about it like that. Because I would say that my dreams have progressively gotten like where I've been able to control them more and more.
Before the DMT,
did I have
did
such
you have vivid dreams, like how you are now? Because I haven't had a dream.
I've had vivid dreams before DMT. I would say that if it was like that, it would make sense. I've gotten better, but it could be because I sleep so much anyways.
Yeah.
I sleep pretty much like 10 hours a day.
Damn.
Way too much.
Sounds like fun.
It does. It does sound like fun, but then you wake up and you're like, well, there goes my day.
Yeah. Back to bed.
Yep.
All
Back
right.
to bed in 6 hours.
All right,
Yeah.
dude. Let's talk about like sleep paralysis and stuff.
I never want to have that.
Have you ever had a lucid dream?
I've had lucid dreams.
Been able to control your dreams?
I've been able to control my dreams.
I've never been able to.
Do you have actually do you dream?
Mhm.
Do you remember your dream from last night?
Not last night. There's like one or two like dreams that I like
You can stick on
remember.
to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Weirdly enough, it's like the one that I remember the most. It involves like a lot of like toys from like the basement, and they just kind of like come to life.
You guys
and
are
like, doing their
creepy
own
people,
thing.
man.
Yeah.
There was like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles were racing with Mario and everyone. And
Okay,
then,
now
like,
that sounds fun though.
And then
See,
like
my
I
instant thought.
had like a one-armed Gohan, and he was like fighting like this like dragon-like figure
That's
in my
crazy.
grandma's backyard, and Gohan was like using the trampoline. And I don't know why I remember it so vividly. I had that dream when I was like younger than 10, and I still remember it.
I remember a long time ago when I was like 14, 15, I was sleeping at my cousin's house, right? It was like, you have your cousins, your sister, your brother's there, your cousins are all sleeping with the TV and the GameCube and you're all on the floor because we're all visiting the cousins. Remember those times? I'm sure you guys have had those moments. And I remember this very specific moment because I fell asleep and I got up from my bed and I looked down at my body and I saw my body and I saw everyone sleeping, and I thought to myself, that's weird. And then I laid down away from my body and fell asleep away from my body, and then I woke up in that dream. And I remember feeling immense heat and pressure, and like I felt like my face was melting off, and it was hot and sticky. And then I remember waking up and then still seeing my body like across from me, and then I went back to my body, laid down, and then I woke up from that. And the reason that stuck with me for like till now, I'm 26, so 27 years old, is because the next day my brother said, last night you woke up and you stood there for like a good 5 minutes. And I was like,
do anything?
And I was like, what are you talking about? And he's like, yeah, you woke up and then you stood there for 5 minutes and then you went back and laid down. And then he said he didn't want to fuck with me. Because you don't want to fuck with a sleepwalker. You don't know what the fuck's gonna happen. They might just wake up screaming. They might just start swinging. They might just fall straight on their back and die because they hit their head. But yeah, that happened to me, man. That legit happened.
Jeez.
Yeah.
What's the earliest memory you can think of as a child?
Of
What's your first memory?
Of sleepwalking?
Just in general.
First memory? Ooh.
I'll tell mine because mine kind of goes into the aspect of vivid dreams, lucid dreams, but it's more of what is that when you have a what is it? When you see something, either you see something in your dream and then it happens later on, or what is that called?
Deja vu.
Deja vu. So my first memory was of deja vu. I remember being like, wow, this is crazy. My dad's home. This is really cool. And in my head, I had a deja vu moment, but I only remembered this later on because it's confused me for a while, like why I did it. But then like later on, I figured out through learning what deja vu is, like that's what happened. But like I had this feeling of like, I need to bite my dad on the leg right now. I was like 3. So I grabbed his leg and I bit him. I was like, yeah, that's what I did. But like the way I remember it is more of like I had a deja vu moment and I'm like, this is happening. Like, why am I doing this? So weird. I don't know why I had to bring that up, but
No, that makes sense. Like you remember.
I guess. Do you have deja vu moments?
Yeah, dude. I have a lot. I mean, they're not as vivid as they could be because of all the pot. But yes, I've had a couple. Do you? I think remember one time we were driving down the road and you said that you felt like this moment had already happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like super like vague conversations with you, or like weird like very specific point of views, in like conversations in the background. The first one that I really remember is like my dad took my sister and I out to this restaurant, like the one where they like cook stuff in front of you, and it was the exact dialogue of the story that this waiter told about burning his arm that I remembered from like a dream I had. And I remember sitting there and I was like, what the fuck? I was like, this chicken teriyaki is really good, but I can't enjoy it because I'm tripping the fuck out.
Damn.
That was the teriyaki.
I was like 14.
Yeah. I
I
remember.
think deja vu is just nuts sometimes.
Yeah. So, I could tell you some crazy shit, man. My old house that my parents currently live in is hella haunted. The one that we stayed in. It is very haunted. And
I hate when people tell me their house is haunted before I go stay there. It's almost like I'd rather just not know. Because then if I worry the whole time, I'm going to,
It's,
I'm
al-
gonna
it's,
sleep.
it's almost like if you think about it, like you're
Yeah.
inviting it,
Yep.
you know?
Not
Yep.
even. Yeah, I guess. But the thing is, I didn't tell my friend Devontae that it was haunted.
Mm.
But he came over one day, and he actually lived with me for a good amount of time because he was slightly homeless, and I was his homie, and I was like, I have like 4 extra bedrooms in my house. You live in one, and my parents were like fine with it. He told me one day I was like making food, and he came down the stairs, and he was like, "Why the fuck did you tug at my mattress this morning?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He says like, "I was sleeping, and you came in my room, and you pulled really hard."
Maybe you were sleepwalking.
At the end of my mattress, and I was like, Devontae, why would I do that for no reason? Like, I would do something like that if you pissed me off, and then I would own up to it and say, yeah, because you did this. What's up?
Because you took the gloves.
And he
Peace out, guys.
See ya. You have a good
calls.
work is she's going to Abby's gonna head out. She's gonna go work at a dispensary.
Gonna sell some pot.
Some good people. So, anyways, he comes in my room and he's like, "Why the fuck do you tug at my bed?" And I was like, "What do you mean, man? Like, I didn't do that. Like, and if I did do that, I'd say because you're an asshole, and
Right.
because last night this happened." And he was like, "No." And anyways, I was just like, Devontae, you know me enough as a person. And like with you too, I feel like you would know me enough as a person to be like, if I did that, I would say, because you did this to me, I wouldn't do it and then hide away from the fact that I did it because like that'd be weird. But at the same time, I didn't do it. And another time, Devontae was sleeping. He told me that he was like, it was the middle of the night, the AC was completely off, and he was looking up at the fan, and the fan started to spin, and it was the dead of the night, no wind, and the windows were closed. And he told me literally the window started, the fan started to spin, and then he was like, "No, fuck no, you're not gonna do that shit." And then it stopped spinning, straight the fuck up. And I never told you this story, bro. So this is a very old story, okay? And it's just kind of like a trippy ass story. The only reason I never told you the story is because it's a very long, complicated story. But I might as well tell you right now. So the house that my parents live in, we moved away from that house for like 5, 6, 7 years, and they rented it out to people while we were moving out. And I actually became really good friends with the last people that lived there because I became friends with the daughter. And like, what's the coolest thing you can tell someone other than, "Hey, I have the keys to your old house. Let's go smoke pot in your old mom's house." Because my dad and I would work on it, and I'd have the keys, and like I would know when it was be empty, because like I would be literally his co-partner in craftsmanship and shit. You know what I mean? So that's how we connected. Like we smoked weed with her friends, like in their old house, because like we were renovating it, and then we renovated it for months. Anyways, before I told her anything about that house, I didn't say anything. I just asked her, "I want to know what your experiences were in this house, because I know this house is haunted." So I didn't tell her anything. I just asked her, "What did you experience while living here?" Did I tell you the story?
No.
Okay. So she tells me that, so I'm going to just draw out a house for you in your mind. Picture the stairs. You go up the stairs like down there, and you get to the top, and at the top there's 3 different rooms. And that was where I lived, on the 2nd floor. My parents lived on the 1st floor. So I had those 3 rooms to myself all the time. And a bathroom up there. She said that in the 3 rooms, there was a really terrible ghost in the room that Devontae stayed in. He said that she said that there was a fucking menacing ghost. And she told me about a story. She told me that when her fucking brother was 13 years old, 12 years old, in the middle of the night, they heard him, and they thought he was having a seizure in that room. So the whole family came in, and she told me literally this story. She's just telling me the story that they thought he was having a seizure. So that the whole family, the mom, dad, other sister, little sister, her, come into the room, and they check on him, and he stopped. He's seizing. He's shaking, dude. He's having a seizure. And then he stops. And then he sits up completely right at a 90-degree angle at the edge of his bed, completely asleep. Okay?
Some exorcist
She
shit.
tells me this without knowing that when I was 12 years old, 13 years old, and I was living in that room, 12 years old, my parents thought that I was having a seizure when I was young. I shared that room with my brother. So I was in the middle of the night, and this is a true story. You can ask my parents. They thought I was having a seizure. So everyone in my family came into that room to check on me. I stopped seizing, and then I sat up at a 90-degree angle at the edge of my bed without any of their help. They didn't prop me up. I just sat up, completely asleep, and they had to lay me back down. I've never had a seizure since. I've never had a seizure before. It was just that one moment, and I didn't tell her that happened to me. She told me that happened to her little brother while they were living in that house.
Sheesh.
In the same room.
Sheesh.
And
That's nuts.
she also told me that in the other room there was another ghost in there, but the ghost was friendly. He had lived his life, a good life, and he wanted to watch people live their lives and have a happy life. He just wants to observe other people have a happy life like he did. She told me that she knew this because her little sister, who was like 4 years old, can speak to ghosts, and her little sister told her that about the room. She also told her that the other room that the seizure happened in had a ghost that was bad, and he wanted to see people in pain. He wanted to see people confused, and he wanted to see people like scared, because that made him feel better. And the other room had a good ghost, and he lived in the closet, and it was like a master bedroom with like a big closet, you know, and he lived in that closet. And every now and then the girl would see her little sister just talking to nobody in that room, just like, yeah, my day was good, yeah, no, we took the bus, and then class was good, and then this and that, and everything was good. Like every day she would hear her sister just talking in that room, because that was her sister's room, because her parents slept downstairs. Anyways, man, I don't know, it was weird to hear her experiences, because I felt those same experiences, man.
That's nuts.
And I remember, I know this is a random memory, I remember like that room where the good spirit lived. I remember being a child. My parents used to live in that room, and I remember laying down and looking at the door in the middle of the night, every night, because I would share a bed with them, right? Because I was like 4 or 5, 6 years old, and I remember looking and seeing like a ghostly spirit like grow and shrink and try to get into that door, but couldn't get in, but it was at the doorway, and I couldn't explain what it was, but it looked like a black figure with a hood just growing and shrinking and growing and shrinking, just trying to get in, but it couldn't.
Because you put salt down.
Yeah. Yes, it did. Pink salt. He was pink salt. Yes. Anyways.
Nuts.
Yeah.
I've heard stories from family members and stuff like that. Like,
have you ever heard stories like that?
No, not to that extent. No, your shit's really fucking creepy. I'll say that much. I mean, I've heard stories from one of my cousins that I've stayed in the exact room that he was talking about. And this was after I stayed in that room. They told me this story, but his aunt had a room that was filled with Victorian dolls. Like, I'm talking like hundreds, all over the wall, everywhere. And he had an experience where he was basically chased by one of them.
Jesus.
And I remember hearing that story growing up a lot, and I never wanted to go back to that house again.
Tell me the story, bro.
It was basically he was staying in that room, and then one night one of the doll's eyes started glowing, and it basically chased him around the house. It sounds crazy now. Now I'm saying it out loud, I'm like,
like if you can experience something on that realistic of a level, you can like tell someone what happened. I mean,
they're not gonna believe you anyways.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
Hey,
Jesus.
Chill the fuck out, Siri.
Listening, man.
Oh my God, scared the shit out of me. Look, see, we had a ghost and no one was here for it.
Jesus.
Siri thought she was gonna get away with some shit. Damn it.
It's all good.
Sorry, I didn't get that.
Be alright. Hey, our follower count's jumping.
Is it?
No.
Where we at?
44.
Hey. Well, we didn't reach our goal of 50, which is okay. We're only like 8 short last night.
We're not. So I think we had this idea where you wanted to get covered in maple or like some gravy. Do you really want to do that?
Covered in some biscuits and gravy, but the gravy.
Or just the gravy. I can supply the gravy. I can make some gravy in my house. Need your gravy. And we do it at the lake.
I don't know.
You don't know?
I'm nervous because I'm like, do I do it hot or do I do it cold?
You don't want to do it cold. I mean, there's no point in doing it hot other than to tell people, yeah, it was hot gravy that burned my skin.
Boiled my skin off.
Because it's going to be the same effect. They're going to be like, yeah, good job with the gravy. But like, was it hot? They're not going to give a fuck. Like, but was it hot gravy? Like, you know what I mean?
No, it wasn't hot. Yeah, I don't care.
Well, yeah, you got to do it again because who eats cold biscuits and gravy? You know what I mean? Anyways, man.
Fucking weirdos.
Just people are critics, bro. People are critics. I love you.
But
We got safe. Call me if you need me.
have a good day.
Anyway, yeah. So, biscuits and gravy. Were you serious about that?
We don't need to tell the audience. They can find out. But I guess they could find out after 50 followers.
How about this? As soon as you get to 100 followers, we'll do it.
100 followers.
I mean,
I'll swim in a pool of
the thing is,
biscuits
though,
and gravy.
The thing is, though, is something that outrageous needs to be said right at the beginning of the podcast. We can't hashtag it at the end and expect people to be like, yeah, I was listening to your podcast, and then I was at the end, and then I heard the whole 100 followers thing. Like, it's like, you gotta like broadcast that thing solely by itself.
With that being said, I think we're gonna jump out of here and we're gonna go work on some other stuff. We might be back on later. I haven't done an actual radio show in a while, and there's some people with some new music out that I need Andrew to hear.
Yeah.
And I think we're gonna try it a little differently too. The friends over at Writer's Block, I watch them a lot, and the way that they do it is pretty cool. They kind of talk more, and then they break into some music. And then they come back, talk some more, and then break into music. They don't really, it's not like a whole bunch of songs, but I'm not going to take their whole flow. I just think what they do is really awesome, and they've put me on before, and they've talked about me on their show. So
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
They were talking last night about Donda. I don't know if you've listened to the new Kanye West album.
Have you? Is it?
Unfortunately.
Is it okay? I haven't heard the whole thing. I heard what you posted.
I'm a big believer in Kanye has gone crazy, and as a bipolar person myself, I don't feel like I should be listening to other bipolar people, you know? So no, the only thing is like it just sounded unfinished, but that's something that's happening a lot in this new music stuff, sounding unfinished and people still liking it. Not something that interests me.
Yeah.
But is it only that Kanye can do that? I don't know. The other thing is like it just too gospel. Too much gospel
too
music.
much about Jesus.
Yeah. And I'm not a big religious person, but there are some good songs on there still that's not just about religion. Like Kid Cudi's song was probably my favorite because I love Kid Cudi to death. So
yeah,
he can't do no wrong other than those other albums. But
I just don't want to get to the end of my life and look back and say Kanye was right. Jesus was the savior. Fuck.
That would be fun.
That would be fucked. We see like Kanye at the gates, and he's like, "Y'all should have listened."
It was
to
a
me.
choice, motherfucker.
Exactly, and then like a jump straight to hell, and we're fucking sitting down with.
You didn't listen to Donda.
Exactly.
Go to hell.
Exactly. Give me one verse from Donda, and we'll be like, "Oh, can't do it."
Ah, shit. Donda.
Save
Donda.
Jesus, and then we'll go straight to hell. Anyways,
guys, if you aren't already, go ahead and subscribe to the channel.
we need 50, baby.
Yeah, we're trying to get to 50, and then hopefully the next goal will be 100, and we'll have a surprise after that one. We'll probably have a surprise after the 50 too. We'll figure it out and try to do something to get you guys all excited out there. And once again, we appreciate whoever comes in and listens. Like you guys make us want to keep going, and it means a lot to us.
Hell yeah, man.
We're not gonna give up on this anytime soon. Not so easily. Even if we move apart, we're still gonna be able to do it from 2 different locations. Like this is Residues, and is what we do, you know. So go ahead and follow us on Instagram at Residues. Give us a like. Give us some subscribers as well. Yeah, man. I don't know what else to say other than have a good day and
play us
stay
out,
safe.
DJ. Play us out.
So let's play you guys out with some. A song that's going to be on my next beat tape. Play something new. Let's see what we got. All right, y'all. Have a good day. Stay blessed.
Stay blessed, people.